SpaceX is all set to launch the Broomstick 40th Starlink mission. This video will talk about the 40th Starlink mission by SpaceX, which was termed the American Broomstick. We will see why this name was given, as well as the significance of this mission. Let's begin. So SpaceX launched its 10th SpaceX Falcon 9 on Wednesday, propelling 48 additional Starlink satellites into space as even the firm continues to expand its network of space-based internet base stations. And as the time approached zero, the SpaceX launching manager informed her controllers that it was now the moment to allow the American Broomstick to soar, and consequently, hear the sound of liberty. So LD is ready to go. With this statement of hers, she was in a way alluding to remarks made sometime during the last week by Russian space head Dmitry Rogozin, who said that international sanctions enacted after Russia's occupation of Ukraine, sales as well as the support of Russian rocket motors to U.S. businesses had been blocked. Let them fly on something else. Their broomsticks, I'm not sure what, he remarked publicly on Twitter. SpaceX's complex in Hawthorne, California, manufactures Falcon 9 rockets and the cargo and Crew Dragon spaceships that transport astronauts and materials to the International Space Station. Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX, instantly retaliated against Rogozin by referring to his all-American spacecraft as American Broomsticks. While both NASA as well as Roscosmos, which is the Russian space agency led by Rogozin, maintain collaborative activities on the International Space Station still now, for the time being, Russia has cut commercial links with Western commercial space operations, using loads of tiny laser-linked satellites to transmit the information into and out of relatively modest antennas and transceivers on the surface. Starlink satellites are planned to ultimately enable internet connectivity to just about any location on the map. Musk enabled Starlink internet connection and dispatched antennas as well as receivers to Ukraine following requests from Ukrainian politicians, coupled with concerns about Russian interference or hacking. And during the March 7 address at the California Institute of Technology, the president of SpaceX, Wynne Shotwell, remarked, "They tweeted to Elon, so we switched it on." As per Space News, she stated, "That was our consent. It was a tweet," says the narrator. She said turning on the service was the correct thing to do because it provided a source of accurate news in the middle of Russia's invasion. "I believe that the greatest way to maintain democracy is to ensure that everyone understands what the reality is." The actual number of Starlinks that have been deployed to date has risen to 2,282. However, not every one of them is still working. According to Jonathan McDowell, an astrophysicist who maintains a comprehensive space flight record, 2014 spacecraft would still be in orbit as of Wednesday's mission, with 1,989 of them operational. However, in other areas, such as Ukraine, the operational constellations have already been delivering quite increased broadband speed. In addition, SpaceX has plans in place to deploy up to 42,000 broadband satellites in total. However, the final amount is contingent on market requirements for Starlink, which can be described as an elevated speed, reduced latency connectivity provider. Residents of rural villages, secluded dwellings, islands, as well as ships, according to SpaceX, are indeed the ideal candidates for the company. SpaceX also has teamed up with the U.S. Army to show out Starlink connections on aircraft. Following Russia's imminent invasion of Ukraine, customers in Ukraine are increasingly dependent on the Starlink infrastructure to continue providing autonomous internet connections. In late February, SpaceX began providing connectivity to Ukraine. Just days after the battle began, it deployed a shipment of Starlink access points to Ukraine as a response to a request made by Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister. Elon Musk tweeted on March 4 that the company is refocusing its operations on cyber protection, as well as overcoming signal jamming. Musk tweeted that certain Starlink stations near crisis regions were congested for a few hours at a time. "The jamming has been bypassed with our most recent software update." He said that Starlink V2, which is the next series of Starlink satellites intended to embark on Starship, will experience minor delays as a result of the effort. The Falcon 9 deployment timeline, on the other hand, remains unaltered. Another Starlink project is supposed to launch no sooner than March 18 from Cape Canaveral. At 8:45 a.m. EST, the Falcon 9 rocket, containing the newest generation of Starlinks, launched from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on a southeasterly course toward a trajectory slanted 52 degrees towards the equator. 1 hour and 5 minutes later, the liftoff of all 48 satellites was discharged. It would be the 144th Falcon 9 flight overall since its debut in 2010, the 10th this year, as well as the 40th devoted to the Starlink program. The spacecraft's initial phase, in its fourth flight, managed to land quite successfully on a Spacex drone ship, marking the firm's 111th booster recovery and 84th at sea. So, this is all about SpaceX and its Broomstick mission. How will this move affect the current ongoing war? Comment and let me know.